This early? That's crazy. Nepo's rating must have dropped a bit, but here we go. It's a clash of good friends, actually. Erik Hansen and Magnus. Magnus has partied at Erik's house. They played on teams together. Erik's played for Norwegian team Offerspiel. Okay, we see the Sicilian. It's the Rossolimo with the bishop coming out to put pressure on the knight, and game on. This is not easy at all. Erik's a great speed chess player. Okay, bishop takes knight. Very safe choice there from Erik Hansen, who their castles. Knight takes pawn would have been a temporary pawn win. The black queen would have come and won the white pawn in the center, so not a win of a pawn purely. And Magnus gets developed. I think that was a good, safe opening decision from Magnus.
And let's hear what Magnus is saying in the opening.
I'm assuming after f6, maybe he wanted like a quick knight h4 or something.
Magnus reflecting on why Erik made this opening choice. But either way, Magnus is already better with the black pieces quite early on here, so he must be pretty happy with his position.
Definitely. Magnus is kind of the king, I would say, of this pawn structure with doubled c-pawns. When he gets the bishop pair, he gets it from the Ruy Lopez, the Spanish. He mainly gets it from the Sicilian. And normally it's a different branch of the Sicilian, but yeah, either way, he loves just the fact that there are no pawn breaks. Magnus has clamped down on all of the pawn breaks that the white pieces might want to enact. He gets his pieces out. He's actually ready to castle either flank now, teasing Erik. And yeah, Erik has...
Look at his cheeky smile. He's like,
yeah,
you don't know which way I'm going to castle.
Oh, he knows he's got Erik's number as well. I think in recent times, Magnus has been quite dominant in their head-to-head online.
Okay.
But we'll see. We will see.
But either way, a good result for Erik to have 3 points out of 3 possible ones so far, and also fun to play against Magnus in the 4th round.
Great to see Erik playing and doing well. And there we see Magnus consistent. It's a clamping down of the pawn structure. Like, there's nothing white's pieces can do. Like, you can jump around with the knights all you want, but there's no real life. Maybe eventually he wants to push these pawns forward, but that would also open up the white king. At least short term, there's some ideas along this diagonal with the white bishop lined up with the black queen. But Magnus is going to preempt that by pushing pawns towards Erik's king. He loves this. He's talked about it in interviews, Magnus, just not committing. Like, which way is the king going to go? He might toss a coin later and decide. Like, or he'll just keep Erik guessing. As soon as Erik attacks the king side, he'll go the other way. And there we see Chessbra House in Toronto makes its appearance.
Yeah, and we see all of the neon lights. It's like it's a good vibe, but an interesting one to choose when you're playing chess and trying to concentrate, to have like all of these light fixtures behind you. But he looks very concentrated.
Yeah, it looks a bit festive as well, like some kind of remains of Christmas. Isn't this the 12th day of Christmas today?
I have not taken down my Christmas tree yet. I'm not going to do it for a little while.
Oh no!
So I forgive Hansen. I forgive Erik. He's concentrated on Titled Tuesday. He doesn't have time to be cleaning.
That's true. That's true. He's a busy man. He's got the most Norwegian name in the world.
Yeah.
Erik Hansen.
I constantly get questions from you viewers when I've been in our Norwegian chess broadcasts, like, oh, who's this? Is this a guy that we know, Erik Hansen? But no, Canadian guy, no ties to Norway that I know of.
No, although he does enjoy being here. He was a guest in the streaming room. One of the first Titled Tuesdays of the autumn split.
Yeah, and he ended up on with a 29th place, which is actually pretty good. I mean, it's a really tough field. We sometimes have more than 400 players participating in these Titled Tuesdays. And then he didn't play much Titled Tuesday in the autumn split, but now in the winter split, he is back, and he is ready to play in 2026.
Here we go, 2026, and it might be time for Magnus to continue his good form. It looks like a great position for black. He jumps forward with his knight, still slightly better. He's getting ready to just launch his avalanche of pawns, Magnus Carlsen. Maybe even just tickle the white king, install a pawn nearby, create some mating nets. But Magnus holds off for now. Erik has gone into retreat mode, at least with his knight. Now he brings his queen forward. Magnus is likely to dodge the queen exchange. He'll want to keep queens on to attack the white king in the corner. And 1 minute up. I would say Erik's biggest weakness in recent years in blitz chess is the clock. When he was here in Oslo, he got flagged in 2 or 3 games where he actually had an advantage or was doing quite well. So Magnus is using the clock as a tool. And whoa, sacrifice from Magnus Carlsen. That is a pure piece sacrifice. He's giving up a knight. He's allowing the queen trade as well. But His rook's going to come in, and he's got 2 pawns already, soon to be a 3rd pawn. The whole of white's queenside, that left flank, is collapsing.
And then he's going to have 2 of these C pawns are both going to be passed pawns, kind of in the way of each other when he gets a hold of the B pawn. So a very fun way of playing for Magnus. But we can see that he doesn't seem to be celebrating just yet. He's in deep concentration.
Yeah, I'm very impressed. Like Magnus, he's known for his endgames. We saw it during the World Blitz. He was just grinding down all these opponents, but he can also sacrifice pieces. Normally, he only sacrifices Magnus if he has a solid foundation, and there we go. He knows his king is super safe, and it will be for the rest of the game. He knows his plan is easy. The black pawns will push. Maybe he'll take another pawn. What is white's plan? White's pieces are so passive in the corner over here. It's going to take Eric an age to get those pieces coming to life, and it's going to be difficult to know where to put them. So easy position for Magnus to play, and he's showing off all the kind of bows to his, or the strings to his bow, I should say. All of his different skills. He can do endgames, he can also do sacrifices. And looking much better for him now.
Locks out the bishop, so there's some strategic risk.
I was interested in hearing what Eric was saying, but he seems to have gone into a little bit more of like a concentration mode now with a minute left on his clock.
I think he was saying that there's still some risk attached to Magnus's decision.
Yeah.
The bishops aren't amazing yet. He said the bishop's locked up by the
Yeah,
pawns.
the dark squared bishop for Magnus is on the same square as so many of the pawns, the same color. So that bishop doesn't have any reach just yet. But maybe if Magnus can trade off some pieces, it can come to life.
Ooh, yeah, this was his star bishop, but suddenly that's almost
Oh.
trapped and will get traded off now for a knight.
Ooh.
Eric's better. He was right. There was some risk to Magnus's decision.
The bar is suddenly in Eric's favor with a minute left on the clock. Is he going to become much of a perfectionist now that he sees the opportunity? Look, Magnus is realizing.
I mean, that was... What am I doing? That was just dumb.
What am I doing? That was just dumb. Magnus is not happy, but it has evened out on the board now, according to the bar at the top of our screen. And Magnus does have an extra minute on the clock.
Yeah, it's a level-looking endgame, and Magnus has got his rook in, but Eric should just shut the door. There we go, defend his bishop. He's walking his king towards the center, and the lack of light-squared control for black, that trade of the bishop, that's going to be so key. Suddenly, Eric has the easier position to play, I would say. Magnus can't push pawns yet, because this b-pawn moving would... Oh, maybe he can. He's going for it, but it will drop the a-pawn, maybe after a trade.
Wow, Magnus sacrificing a pawn just to get that bishop to be more alive.
Ooh, he's trying to trap the white knight as well. But this is Magnus playing with fire a bit. He's down material, knight for 2 pawns, although the knight is a bit offside. It feels like with best play, this is probably a draw at some point if Eric's ever able to sacrifice his knight for these black pawns. But Magnus is going to try and flag him here, surely, with the clock situation. Oh, watch out. Bishop's coming.
Oh.
Yeah, that would drop the knight, though. This is really difficult, this endgame.
Oh, and Hikaru has won against Nepo, so that's a huge win for Hikaru, who then has 4 out of 4 before the first break. A great feeling for him.
Magnus is moving in. Eric shakes his head. He knows he's got no time. He gives up his knight, but maybe the wrong moment because of this check. He loses a pawn, and now the black rook has got access. Some big weaknesses, or maybe it'll swing the other way now. And it's going to come in and behind. First he gives another check. There's targets. He's a pawn up Magnus Carlsen, and normally that means victory in an endgame.
And the time as well, like Eric really wanted to play this game perfectly, spent too much time trying to find the best moves, but did have a very promising position at a certain moment. But he's still trying. But he seems to have realized what's going to happen here.
Yeah, he's leaning back. He knows the clock situation is hopeless. Even with a minute on his clock, it might not have been enough. And there we go, Eric resigns. Magnus takes the win.